Just let it play. That's the idea, yeah? Just kind of let it play. Visualize that moment right now, Ty. Yeah, that's a good thing about being that third to last and that main card part. So you can kind of just like live this part, you know? He'll be up in that top right corner, yeah? I do want you to look at him. Let him know that he's here for business. That's the idea, is that we kind of want to make sure that he knows that he's in for some shit, yeah? As soon as you step through, you'll know how lonely it is in there. And that's that kind of moment, I always say to a fighter, that you go, fuck yeah, now it's on. You know the ring walk says, as soon as you leave for that ring, you know, shit, there's no way back from that. That's you hitting that surf, you know what I mean? That's you taking off. That's you starting to paddle, yeah. So that ring walk is the paddle. That's really what it is, yeah? And when you're over into that rope, you're now hitting that wave. That wave is the start of that wave. And so the next bit, bro, is 6 minutes of fucking, 6 minutes of fun, bro.
I've been surfing since I was 3 years old, so over 30 years. It's taken me all over the world, met some amazing people. I think it's really shaped the person who I am today. It's definitely one of the things I'm super passionate about. I like the artistic approach to surfing, the creativity that you get to do whatever you want. There's no specific rules. I like being out in nature, in the middle of nowhere, going on crazy adventure, and that sense of freedom and that sense of curiosity. I like when I get scared. Just the unknown and unpredictability about surfing and being challenged, and you never know what you're going to get. It's Mother Nature, so it's not the same every time. Getting yourself mentally prepared for something, getting scared for something, and maybe overcoming your fears, and maybe getting one of the biggest waves of your life or one of the biggest barrels of your life. I think that adrenaline kick, yeah, it's all part of it. I think the build up, the lead up, the in the moment, and then you get one. It's exciting. If I look at my last few years of surfing, like what level of improement, it's probably gone like. When you're improving at something, it means you're getting better at something, and when you're getting better at something, it's enjoyable, and so it becomes fun. And I think that's what it's about. It's about having as much fun as you can. So what got me into it, I think, was maybe looking for a new challenge at this age, in this stage of my life, something that I could progress in. I mean, if I look at myself now versus when I started boxing, I've improved so much. You know, when you're a kid, you always see these guys walking out and getting in the ring, and it's just one person versus one person, you know what I mean? And I think that's like, to me, I've always held fighters at the very pinnacle of athletes. Deep down, I've always wanted to try it, but I never thought I would, but here I am. I was like getting into boxing, but I was just doing it in my house, and I was just getting trainers to come to my house. Because I've always thought of boxing gyms as kind of like, they're kind of gnarly guys in there, so I was like, I'm not good enough to go and train at a boxing gym yet, you know. So, you know, a couple of the other Kiwi boys like, bro, why don't you go and train with Mike? Mike's one of the bros. Then from there, I went from here to here, you know, like real quick. And then, you know, I went to the fights and saw a couple of my good friends fight, and I was like, fuck yeah, I want to do that. I want to challenge myself. And so the following week, I went there and I was like, hey, Unk, throw me in. I think within 2 hours, he already found someone for me to fight. And then he's gone and put me on the bloody middle of the poster, and I was like, holy shit, man, this is real.
Soma is more of our movement, of getting more people into the sport, you know. We just wanted to be able to take a group of people on a journey to do whatever they wanted to do, to be the best at what they wanted to do. And that could be people who wanted beginners, you know, world champs, and people who kind of wanted to crack big promotions like One Championship, UFC, and, you know, win titles and stuff. So really, that's kind of where we birthed the whole idea around Soma. for someone like Ty, this is probably the right breeding ground to kind of get that set level of training. When he said he wanted to fight, I picked a really hard opponent. So I picked a really young upcomer. Kid fought already last year, had another fight 2 weeks ago. This is a really hard fight for Ty. Like, Ty potentially loses this fight, yeah? If he doesn't knuckle down, if he doesn't do the things that we ask, if he doesn't put in those extra hard yards, I mean, he could lose the fight. It's about him managing his lifestyle, his family, his work, and training. Meanwhile, a young, hungry kid from Jakarta is training every day, thinking about, cool, I just want to fight and I want to fight this guy. I mean, the focus and dedication for the next few weeks is imperative if he wants to win the fight.
2 full sessions a day, man. It's gonna be fucking hard.
You know, I always say, if a person is doing their first fight, whether they're doing the 10th fight, whether they're doing a 100th fight, whether they're doing a world title, for that person in that one fight, that's their world title fight. You know, when he says something like, I want to fight, and it gives, you know, it opens up the door for, I think, a whole lot of experiences that maybe he didn't realize or didn't understand, and doesn't understand like what will change is just part of this process. For him, as somebody who's, you know, not officially a fighter, to say, yeah, I want to fight, such a big thing and it's such a big journey. So we put him in there with pro fighters, conditioning classes, managing his weight. So we create really intense situations really fast to kind of see where he's at. One of my coaches used to say to me, the ranking for a good fighter is heart, will, and skill. Skill always coming last, but if they have the heart for it and they got the will for it, they could do something on that night. So they need to give everything, everything. There's no doubt on the night, when Ty jumps in there, you're gonna get hit with a few shots that's gonna make him question whether or not he wants to be there. That's where that whole heart and will comes into place. Day one, sparring. Yeah, you got a whole bunch of these ones here. But they get better, bro. Yeah. They do get better. Some days you get fucking worse. Some days you're gonna wake up and you're gonna go, fuck man, I'm worse than what I was the other day. Yeah. That's the reality. You're gonna have great days. You're on shit days. Great day comes on.
My first week, man, I was like tore some muscles and my back was seizing up and I was in bed with a fever of dehydration, and I never done anything like it, honestly, physically and mentally.
When I met him, he was just like all about the surfing, threw himself into that, then, you know, started all these businesses. Always been like busy, go, go, go. And I think when COVID hit and they put like a pause button on everything, like he was all of a sudden like lost that little bit of, you know, meaning, because he's been then for 10 years just been on this like full speed. So I think that this fight is that for him. I think it's like giving that meaning again, and it's really cool to just see himself like throw himself into it.
Here we are at Tentiri Ceramics. I'm going to check out all the ceramics for school.
How do I feel about opening up a new restaurant soon? Supposed to be a week or 2 after the fight. Pretty nervous about it, to be honest with you, because normally I'm 24/7 all in on whatever I do. I haven't been putting that much time and energy and effort into it. I've been putting as much as I can with what I got left in the tank. I mean, some nights I'm up super late and we're doing food tastings, and the other day I had to do cocktail tastings and I'm like spitting the cocktails out. I've never done that before. Usually I'm hammered after them. If I was in hindsight, would I have taken a fight the same time I'm opening up a restaurant? Probably not. But fuck it, here we are. I'm not pulling back on either one of them.
Where's your clothes?
So I gotta get down. My biggest challenge is losing 8 kilos.
Ella, they're gonna make a diet plan for me.
Yeah, you said that.
And then I'll get the girls to do breakfast and dinner, and then the boys at work can do lunch.
We got our boy Ian Larius, Chef Larius, who's one of the best nutritionists in the world, doing like his diet plan for him. He has to stick to that. Meanwhile, he's got food tastings, he got drink tastings. He got to juggle all of this stuff while he's trying to open up the new part of his business.
How are you?
Good, man. How are you doing?
Good. Well, hang on. Let's talk about like what kind of meals you did with the last few weeks.
So we're really focusing on the timing of when you eat certain things. So obviously, like your body, when you're working real hard and when you're doing like a aerobic exercise, your body needs carbohydrates. So as you can see, probably when after workout, you're usually getting more carbs, you're replenishing the glycogen that you're using. So that's all that energy in your muscles that's stored. So when that runs out, you want to replace it. And as you probably noticed, at the times where we're not training, we're focusing more on like fats, proteins, and like lots of veggies. So stuff that will kind of keep you full for a little short period of time, but obviously not keep you super satisfied like a bowl of like rice would.
So they've set up like a full breakfast, lunch, dinner. Here we have the kids, like we have cakes, cookies, pancakes, and spaghetti for dinner. You know, we're the opposite of diet plan. The fact that he can stick to his diet plan with having 2 little kids in the house and having all these like temptations around, like and he loves his food, he loves his candy. My family just arrived from Norway, and the thing he loves the most is Norwegian chocolate, and they just brought like, 10 Norwegian chocolates, and he's like not even touching them because he's committed.
Right hand, Miguel's gonna dip, and he's gonna keep himself low, and he's gonna kind of dip off that right hand. So as I throw it, at worst case scenario, if Miguel misses.
On our way to sparring, feeling heaps better. Had a crook back and all that stuff. Feel like I'm starting to get on the other side of that first initial phase. I just need to still get the cardio accelerated, but yeah, at least got a bit better of a mindset going into this sparring than the first one. The first one I didn't want to know about it. So it should be fun. Want to have some fun in there today.
Most of the time that you're inside the gym is going to be rough. It takes dedication in the bucket loads. It takes commitment. It takes tears, sweat, blood. Most times you don't understand, if you're getting better and how you're doing. Most times you got someone like myself just screaming at you and, really creating really hard situations for you mentally to figure out how you're going to get yourself out of it. It's probably one of the most extreme sports in the world because it's not even a sport. You're about to lock the door on 2 people to go in there, and you're about to find out on that night who's the better person. You know what I mean? And that creates a whole lot of emotions. And you got to do that in front of your family, in front of your friends, in front of your loved ones, in front of people that hate you. So you have to willingly go up there, put yourself on show, let everybody judge you. The whole fears of, what if I get knocked out? What if I lose? What if I'm not good enough? They all are things that will happen inside that person's head. And so why we train people so hard is that they can eliminate that sort of thought process in their mind.
Training camp I've been in has been gnarly. It's crazy how much of a team effort it is. From everyone, from the cooks in the kitchen to the staff, the guys parking, to all of the trainers giving you a little bit of their time and advice, and then the energy you feel in the room, and everyone's hurting, and then they're big, come on, you can do it too, you can do it. Man, you and your blood, when you put blood, sweat and tears into things, it bonds people together, So I think they've done just an absolutely incredible job of building such a strong community, and it's showing, man. It's showing big time, and I'm stoked to be a part of that.
They say it takes a village to raise a child, and man, it takes a family to raise a fighter. When we see him inside of here, that's what he's experienced. This whole community will get around him to get him through those hard moments so that he can fight. What happens is that when he steps over that rope, he takes all of us with him. And we've spent that last kind of 6 weeks putting ourselves into him, so his mana is charged by our mana. Then we go out. Referee will talk to you. He'll go, yeah, cool, got one good for your fight. Touch gloves if you want to touch gloves. Yeah, good, you go back. Good, and then this is where you start getting into the tube. It's ready, ready, ready. Fight!